GCMMA boys coming to you this week with the live reactions to the Pereira versus Hernandez card. Boys, we just got done with Austin Lane versus Rebellis. They need to cut this guy. He came in and got
guys.
he just came in and got a flash knockout over Josh Parisian. And everyone's talking about, we've got to see this guy versus Francis Ngannou. And he's literally lost to
fucking right.
He's lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta, and he just literally got his ass kicked against Austin Lane as a minus 400 favorite. This guy might have been a, contender in Taekwondo in the Olympics, but he's not shit inside of the UFC.
Yeah, this guy fucking sucks. I know hindsight isn't 20, whatever the fuck. Hindsight isn't 2020 or whatever. I know we picked Despain, but in no world would I have bet money on Despain, and I didn't at minus fucking 400 plus. This guy sucks. If Waldo Acosta is taking you down and holding you down,
no. If Austin Lane, that's an even bigger.
Yeah, that's an even bigger disgrace. This fight sucked. Horrible way to open the card. It is what it is. We didn't have any money running on it, so I'm not too pissed off, but Despain needs to get cut. Hopefully, that would light a fire under his ass so he can start training some level of ground game because he has none at this point. Austin Lane is fucked. He never needs to see the UFC octagon again.
Boys, Brad Katona versus Gene Matsumoto. Guys, I want to start with this by saying that honestly, Brad Katona, he earned a little bit of my respect in this. He didn't just try to clinch against the fence or nut hug. He wasn't trying to be like Mario Batista.
Who's a pussy?
He actually did deal some decent damage to Gene Matsumoto, I will respect him for this performance. I know before I was saying, I still don't really fuck with the guy all that much, but I'm just saying he's went from here, he's right here. He's just below being okay in my book. And I just, I wanted to say this because I have to give props when props are due. I don't just want to act like, we say our piece on people, but we still have to at least acknowledge the work they're doing. And this is a situation with Brad Katona where it's like, okay, man, this wasn't a boring fight.
Yeah, really close fight. Good fight by both guys. I obviously the judges agree with me. John Matsumoto won the fight. But Brad Katona kept it close the whole time. Really didn't know what the fuck was going to happen when it went to decision. Because nowadays the judges are literally just picking whatever. So I didn't know what was going to happen. But I'm glad John Matsumoto got the dub. We've been saying on this channel for ever since Brad Katona's first fight in the UFC that he's not as good as the promotion is trying to make him look like. And
if he can really live up to that Superman nickname,
really,
come on, man.
You're a Superman, but you're losing decision to John Matsumoto. Nothing against John Matsumoto, but
I don't know how good he is by not finishing him.
And how far he'll go in this
It was
division.
impressive, yes. He was a heavy favorite, yes. But it's come on, man. You're coming in hot, finishing Dan Argueta. You got to be putting Brad Katona away if you're trying to impress them. Diego Lopez was fucking everybody up when he came in.
Yeah.
That's the blueprint that these guys need to follow if they want to become on the fan side, boys. To the next fight.
All right, boys. Just finished the Nicolau versus Almabayev fight. The fight fucking sucked, but I got the fight right. I picked Almabayev. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do, get his ass to the ground, just hold him there like a pussy. And that's what happened. Nicolau, I cannot trust my money on that motherfucker. And that thought process proved to be the correct one in this fight, boys.
Guys, on some fights, it's less about the money that you risk on them and more about the reputation that you risk on them. Because now my entire audience is just going to remember the fact that I picked Mateusz Nicolau in a fist fight. And guys, as he was saying in the prediction video, the rankings in the flyweight division do not matter. This guy was number 3, 4, 5 in the world. And he's getting knocked out 2 times in a row by lesser opponents. and then literally getting a decision loss against a guy who's had 3 fights in the UFC. You're not the number 7 fighter in the world. If some guy's fighting in the UFC 3 times and kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Now I have to take a shot because of you. And next time I pick someone, people are going to go, well, he was the guy who picked Nicolau. And, like, people can't even fucking trust what I say anymore because you, Nicolau.
Guys, that fucking division is cooked. Like, it is. When there's a guy coming in on his UFC debut, he was a champion in another promotion. He wasn't a champion in Bellator. He wasn't a champion in PFL. He wasn't a champion in fucking
Cage Warriors.
Cage Warriors, or any of that. He was a champion in fucking Ryzen. And he's coming into the UFC and automatically getting a title shot. That tells you all you need to know about the ranking of the flyweight division. It does not matter a single fuck what number is besides anybody's name at this point. It's whoever can get the dub. Like, the ranking doesn't mean shit.
Odds don't mean shit either. Tatsuro Taira minus 325 loses to Royval. That division is so fucking rogue.
Guys, like, the flyweight division is honestly like a betting black hole at this point. I hope if Charles Johnson loses, we haven't seen that fight yet. If he loses, I'm crashing out on the fucking channel. Let me get this out the fucking way.
All right, boys. Therein the damage. Elkins versus Daniel Pineda. Guys, I don't know what's gotten into these fighters' heads. They think they're Dustin Poirier or some shit with the guillotines. Don't be silly and jump the gilly. Whoa, you look pretty fucking silly losing to Darren Elkins. Guys, to say the least, this has not been our card so far. And Daniel Pineda did not redeem a single thing. He took his gloves off and no one really gave a fuck. At least that's one less opportunity I have of getting a wrong pick is with that guy. So good fucking riddance, to be honest.
That fucking guy's shooting for gillies, like, not giving a single fuck.
His white trunks are turning red to a 40-year-old guy.
Come on, guillotine.
Man. Get the fuck
Why the fuck are we even sitting here watching this shit? I'm getting off work at like 12:30, like staying up late as fuck to watch the card, and then I have to sit through fucking Daniel Pineda throwing away the fight because he wants to jump a gilly fucking 6+ times and end up on the bottom with his ass getting kicked.
Losing
Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins is the guys. I'm sorry, like, I don't like saying this shit, but like, he's literally like, there's something wrong.
Geriatric or
like,
some shit.
I could say a lot of things that could get me banned on this platform, but I would just say this: he's fucking an idiot. He's a fucking idiot. Darren Elkins is fucking dumb in the head. You can watch when the fight ends. I won the freaking fight.
There's a dog in me, and it barks, and you're gonna have to get me out of there before I stop trying. Like, guys,
he reminds me of the guy up at UHF. Mama. Like, guys, that fucking guy, dude.
Respect to Darren Elkins for sticking through the whole fight, but with all the extra shit, come on, man. Just get off that. But
he's literally the guy up at UHF, bro.
Stanley Spadowski
like, true shit.
Fighting in the UFC with a mop stick or some shit. All right, boys. Next fight. Jake Hadley versus Cameron Smotherman. Are you kidding me with the commentary of this fight, boys? The UFC commentary was absolutely glazing Jake Hadley. It's the 3rd round. This guy is down by like 2.5 rounds. And they're talking about, ooh, nice 1-2 from Hadley. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy came in on a 1.5 day notice and is outlanding you every single round. And the promotion has the audacity to be talking about, nice 1-2 from Hadley. A 1-2 doesn't win you a fucking 3-round fight.
Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me with these fights. Like, these announcers, judges, refs
Paul
have got,
Felder just needs to fuck off.
and Dominic Cruz, like, they've got to be more fucked up than we are at this point watching this shit. Like, oh, good 1-2 from Jake Hadley as he's a minus 500 favorite who's down every single fucking round this entire fight. Like, bro, Cameron Smotherman is coming in on like a couple sleeps notice. Like, like it's fucked.
Cutting off. Like, you're like leaning like this, bro. You're like,
I know, bro. But like, what the fuck? Like, I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, Cameron Smotherman.
Something.
I'm just saying, like, come on, like, Cameron Smotherman's on like a 2-day notice and he's pulling up and kicking Jake Hadley's ass, and the commentators, the only thing they can think of is a decent 1-2. The 1-2 grazes Cameron Smotherman. Nice 1-2 by Jake Hadley. He's got to turn it up in this fight. He fucking lost.
There were 7 seconds left, and Dominic Cruz was talking about he needs to go for the finish.
Dude.
With 7 seconds left.
What the
You're
hell?
trying to hype people up in the last 7 seconds after they just watched one of the most boring fucking fights of the year. This guy has fought in the UFC 6 or 7 times now and is performing like that against a guy making his debut. How the fuck is your entire career around being a UFC fighter and you suck that bad?
Some guy who nobody even knows who the fuck this guy is pulling up and kicking your ass in every single round.
Brady Heaston was a lock, like we said.
Yeah, it's a goddamn shame that he pulled out of the fight because we could have made a lot more money than we did.
On to the next fight, boys.
Fuck.
The fuck? All right, boys.
This is fucked.
Boys, lock of the week, Charles Johnson versus Sumadarji. Once again, a little bit of biased commentary. Sumadarji's really dangerous here. Watch out for that left hook by Sumadarji. Like, guys, come on. You know, he lasted, he held his own. I got respect for him for weathering the storm and surviving getting knocked out. But he was never close to being the guy who was ever going to win that fight. Charles Johnson was the lock of that card, like we said, boys. And he got it done pretty fairly, so.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious that Charles Johnson won that fight. You cannot make a case for Sumadarji, boys. He fucking lost that fight. And I'm pretty happy because the new betting strategy going into 2025, the test run for the end of this year is undefeated. So pretty happy about that, boys. Going into 2025, we plan on slamming and hammering the locks and fucking off with the parlays and shit, and just hammering the locks to win 1,000 each week. And so far so good with the test results. Charles Johnson was the pick for this week. Locked in, no sweat. I wasn't like shitting myself waiting for the decision. I knew what happened. Charles Johnson won that clearly, easily. And let's fucking go, boys. GCMMA in this bitch with the lock picks.